Troy and Ephesus lie just over those hot, stony hills. But we haven't time to be tourists. We must find our way as rapidly as possible across the Mediterranean. We don't stop until we've reached the port of Marmaris on what they call the turquoise coast of southern Turkey. There are plenty of boats in the harbour, but none of them seem to be going beyond the next bay. The Greek island of Rhodes, 50 miles south, seems about as far as we'll get from here. What should be an idyllic journey across one of the most well-sailed seas in the world is becoming an unexpected frustration. The trouble is, we've struck the holiday time of year and no one wants to go very far, very fast. On landing at Rhodes, I pass by the postcards and make straight for the shipping office. For Cyprus and Israel, every Friday. That's tomorrow. With a day to kill, I book in at a hotel of character on a quiet back street. Well, it was quiet before I booked in. There's a lot of history I don't know much about here in Rhodes, so I seek out Vangelis Pavlidis, local-born cartoonist of an Athens newspaper.
You can see what's going on here. It's that's a sorting out of.
Well, that's everybody fighting for Rhodes, okay?
Yeah.
You know, it was a coveted place.
Yeah.
So.
I love the. I mean, you obviously love the architecture and the buildings, but the knights themselves seem to be treated fairly comically.
Well, you know, there were funny characters in their own way.
The island of Rhodes has always attracted tourists, many of them with very large armies. Spartans, Athenians, Romans, Turks and Italians all visited, but the Knights of St. John left the most indelible mark.
This is the Street of the Knights. It's supposed to be the oldest street in the whole of Greece, 4th century BC. But of course now the buildings we see around are from the 14th, 15th century when the Knights of St. John came here.
Oh, they're beautiful. I mean, they're sort of quite palatial. What were they?
Well,
they've been used
they were meant to be, yes, because they are the hostels of the different nationalities, the different tongues, you know, of the knights that were staying here. So you have, you know, the different, you know, you have France, you have Italy, you have the hostel of England, you know, all along this the street. And at the top you have the palace of the Grand Master.
This Christian frontier they defended so zealously fell in 1522 to the Muslim army of our old friend Suleiman the Magnificent. Battles nowadays are most likely to be fought for places on the beach, and the invaders who do stay are happy to look at castles rather than build them. In the village of Lindos, I pay a visit to someone who's made a future here.
Hello.
How are you?
Patrick Walker, Michael Palin. Thank you.
Lovely to see you. Come in.
Can you give me some advice?
Of course, come
Can
in.
you give it publicly before
No,
these people?
no, privately.
No, privately. All right, it's a private consultation.
Few Englishmen influence the great British public more than Patrick Walker the astrologer. Now, as we make our faltering way across the Mediterranean, I feel I need some guidance.
In general, is this a good time to be making a pole-to-pole journey?
In general, yes. Specifically at the moment, I'm slightly surprised that you're here at all. In that I thought you would have probably been held up along the way.
Yes, I mean, we're quite surprised to be here, but we are here. Now, why? What are you keeping from
because
us?
since August the 8th, a thing called the retrograde Mercury. It's when the planet Mercury appears to be travelling backwards in the heavens. It isn't, but it appears to be. And between August 8th and September 2nd, this is going on. And it's a time when all forms of communication and travel plans tend to be disrupted. It hasn't finished yet, you see. It's usually the last few days of those 3 weeks that tend to be the trickiest.
What else can go wrong?
Where will you be in those last few days, the end of August?
Well, around Cairo and Port Said, round about that time. So what would your advice be to us? To stay here?
No. Oh, wait. No.
Till it blows over?
Till it blows over. No. No. It's just to prepare, to have alternative plans, that's it, really. Is there any other way you can go?
Retrograde Mercury notwithstanding, we successfully squeeze our way onto a ferry carrying holidaymakers from Athens back to Israel. The trouble is, seeing holidaymakers makes me think of time off, and time off makes me think of home, and home makes me think of, well, holidays. Cyprus by the sea, where the British garrison maintains our military presence in the Mediterranean. But today is bank holiday, and they're on cream tea alert.
I join you. I think it's fully booked.
Maybe we can't stop long because somebody bought them.
Yeah, it's popular, isn't it? Very popular, this old tea tent.
Despite temperatures close to 100, people are playing cricket. One man I spoke to was off to referee a football match.
Everybody here seems to do sport day in and day out. Is there any sort of military life here, or is that an illusion?
Illusion sometimes, yeah. I think the forces is a hobby, and it revolves around sport more than anything. Because sport is played, actually, well, nearly every day, and it's a great life.
But because we're here in a very hot country, we tend to finish work normally by 1:30 in the afternoon, having started at 7. So most afternoons, apart from Monday, are free for sport.
What happened during the Gulf War, and this would have obviously been in the front line almost?
Well, it was very difficult, of course, especially during the early days when we were particularly busy here at Akrotiri. But throughout we were busy anyway. But sport becomes even more important under those circumstances. People are working hard, need to get away, they need to be able to get some recreation. And so not only cricket, but rugby and football and all the rest didn't stop, but obviously had to come second to the operation.
Cyprus, like Rhodes, has seen empires come and go. The British have brought their playing fields, kept green and watered by the miracle of treated effluent. The Romans and Greeks left their temples and amphitheatres and legends, like that of Aphrodite's birthplace, a rock which stands off the coast. Swim 3 times round it at full moon and you'll live forever. Meanwhile, Cypriot life, unbothered by great events and great pretensions, maintains its own rituals and traditions. Today there's a wedding in the village of Polemi near Paphos, and it's not going to be a quiet affair.
Στον δούλο του Θεού Πολύκαρπο, εις το όνομα του Πατρός και του Υιού και του Αγίου Πνεύματος. Στέφεται η δούλη του Θεού Αριάδνη, τον δούλο του Θεού Πολύκαρπο, εις το όνομα του Πατρός και του Υιού και του Αγίου Πνεύματος. Κύριε ο Θεός ημών, δόξη και τιμή στεφάνος ον αυτός. Κύριε ο Θεός ημών,
Ariadne Kyriakou is marrying Polycarpus Polycarpou. They are the stars of a long and spectacular show. First on the bill is the baby rolling act, which wishes happiness and fertility on the marital bed. Then there's the welcoming of the guests, which is more of an endurance test than you might think.
How many people are you expecting tonight?
We expect about 3,000.
3,000?
Yeah, at least 3,000.
You have to provide food and drink for them?
Yeah.
Must be very expensive for somebody.
It is, yeah. May cost 10,000 pounds.
Really?
Cyprus pounds, yeah.
Yeah. And who pays for that?
The family of both group and bride, yeah.
I'm amazed you've still got a suit and a tie.
Yeah.
The financial blow must be softened by the tradition that no guest arrives empty-handed.
Thank you, congratulations. Thanks.
The celebrations expand to fill the largest public space in the village. And the money keeps rolling in. Miss Petty Cash, 1991. Music and dancing continues into the night, under the beady eye of the widows they call blackbirds. Old-fashioned weddings like this one don't happen much anymore. I hope Ariadne and Polycarpus have a long life together. If it's anywhere near as long as their wedding, they should be fine. Slowly the sun rises to reveal Africa. Our third continent in 7 days, our home for months ahead. Egypt is out there, but no one's quite sure how to get to it. A Loch Ness monster of a pontoon is towed towards us, and the fun begins.